So we are working on 6th grade, Chapter 1, Unit 1. Before we do anything, I want you to pause this video for just a minute and write these down. This is our steps for what we're going to be doing today. It is dividing multi-digit numbers. We're also going to be estimating those numbers first. So we remember this as, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers, or dirty monkey smell completely bad? This is divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. We're going to continue those steps until we don't have to anymore. So we are going to now start on number 1, where it's asking us to estimate and then to go ahead and work the problem and get the real answer. So the first one for number 1, it says 55 into 715. Okay, so first it wants us to estimate those. Well, 55 is about 50. And 715 is about 700. So this is when we're estimating, okay? So I know that for every 100, 50 goes in twice. So there's 7 of those. So 7 times the 2 times that 50 goes into them is going to be 14. Or we can do 50 does not go into 7, so I'm going to go ahead and put a placeholder there. But 50 does go into 70. It's going to go in one time, which is going to give us 50, okay? So 50 goes into 70 one time. That's our divide. 1 times 50 is 50. That's our multiply. Now we're going to do the subtracting. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay? Now, we need to check. Check that 20 is smaller than 50. Yes, it is, so we're good. Okay, so now I can bring down my other 0. Now, 50 goes into 200. We're starting over with the divide now. So 50 goes into 200 4 times. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 5, 20. That's our multiplying. Now we're going to subtract, we get 0. So our estimate is going to be 14. Okay? Let's see if you guys can see that pretty good. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the actual math. Okay? So 55 is definitely not going to go into 7. So I'm going to put a placeholder. Okay? 55 will go into 71 one time, because I know that 50 times 2 is 100, so if I do more than 50, it's going to wind up being more than 100, so we only need up to 71. So our divide is 55 goes into 71 one time. Our multiply, 1 times 55 is 55. We're going to subtract, okay? 1 can't take away 5, so I'm going to borrow and make that a 6. And that's 11 now. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 6 minus 5 is 1. So now I need to do the checking. 16 is smaller than 55, so I am good to bring down my other 5. Okay, so if I do 55 times 2 is 110, times 3 is 165. So 3 times 55, 165, subtract, 0, no remainder. Okay? So, I'm going to erase. We're going to go on to number 2. If you need to pause this so that you can write down the work, you go ahead and do that. Okay. Number 2 on our homework sheet says 19 into 800. So, sorry, it's number 2. Okay, so it wants us to estimate, so we're going to estimate first. So 19 is about 20. And lucky for me, 800 is already a rounded number, so we don't have to estimate that. Okay? So 20 is not going to go into 8. I'm going to put my placeholder X there. Okay? Now I know 20 is an easy number to count by, so I'm going to go 20, 40, 60, 80. That's going to be 4 times. So 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 2, 8. That's my multiplication. Subtract now, 0. Now, 0 is definitely smaller than 20, so I can now bring down my other 0. Or because my last subtraction ended in a 0, I can just take that 0 and move it up. Okay? So now I'm going to do the actual math problem. This is so close to 20 that I'm going to go ahead and use the same numbers as long as I can for my estimation. So 19 doesn't go into 8. I'm going to put a placeholder. 19 into 80, I'm going to put 4 times because it's so close to 20. 4 times 9 is 36. So I'm going to put my 6. I'm going to carry my 3 for a minute. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 more is 7. I'm going to erase that 3 now. Now, I did my multiplication, so now's my subtraction. 0 can't take away 6, so I'm going to borrow 1 and make that a 10. 10 take away 6 is 4. 7 minus 7 is nothing. So, now I need to check. 4 is smaller than 19, so I'm good to go ahead and bring down my 0. Okay? So, 19 into 40 is probably going to go those 2 times. And 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. Okay? So now, 0 can't take away 8. I'm going to go ahead and borrow 1, make that a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay? 3 minus 3 is going to be nothing, so my remainder is my 2. Remainder 2. Okay? You can pause it, write down the work. Go ahead. I'm going to go on to number 3. Okay, number 3 says, Miss Leah needs her glasses. 68 into 1,025. There we go. Okay, so I don't know my multiples of 68, so I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to write them down. Because sometimes you just got to write down the work. Okay, so 68 times 1 is obviously 68, so I'm going to start with 68 times 2. It'll take me just a minute. Okay, 68 times 4, just in case I need it. Before. Okay, so I'm going to start and do 68 cannot go into 1. I'm going to put a placeholder. 68 into 10, still can't do it. 68 into 102, so times 2 is 136, that's too big, so it's going to be just the 1 time. So 1 times 68 is 68. Now I have to do my subtraction. 2 can't take away 8, so I'm going to have to borrow 1, but I can't borrow from that 0, so I have to go all the way over, make it a 0, make that a 10, then borrow 1 from my 2, so that's now a 9, and that's 12. Okay, so 12 minus 8 is 4, and 9 minus 6 is 3. Okay, so 34 is smaller than 68, so I am cleared to bring down my 5. Well, my numbers over here don't go that high, so I'm going to go ahead really fast and do 68 times 5 just to see what I get. 34. Okay, and it looks like 68 times 5 is 340, which is as close as I can get without going over. Okay? So, now 5 minus 0 is still going to be 5. 4 minus 4 is nothing, and 3 minus 3 is nothing. So my remainder is 5. So you should have 15, remainder 5. Okay? You can pause and write down the work. I'm going to move on. Okay. So now, number 4 says 32 into 1,504. Nope, 1,504. There we go. Okay, so again, I don't know my multiples of 32, so I'm going to go ahead over on the side and write them down. So, I have 32. I know 32 times 1 is 32, so I'm going to do 32 times 2. That's 64. 32 times 3 is 96. 32 times 4, 128. 32 times 5, 160. Okay, so let's see if we can get by with those, okay? So, 32 is not going to go into 1. I'm going to go ahead and put a placeholder. 32 is not going to go into 15. I'm going to put a placeholder. 32 into 150. So the closest we're going to get is over here to that 160. So that's too high, though. So I need to go back one, so I'm going to put 4. And that's going to be 128. That's my multiplication. 4 times 32 is 128. Now my subtraction. 0 can't take away 8, so I need to borrow. 10 take away 8, 2. 4 take away 2, 2. Done. Okay? 22 is definitely smaller than 32, so I'm clear to bring down my 4. Okay? So now, 32 into 224. Well, I didn't go up that high, so I'm going to have to go up a little bit higher in my multiplication. And I'm going to guess probably about a 7. So 32 times 7 is 224. Look at that. We're perfect. We subtract, we get 0. There's nothing else to bring down. We're done. Your answer is just 47. Okay? All right. You can always pause the video to write down the work and your answers. Okay? So, on these ones, though, it wants you to write down your remainders if you have them in a fraction. So we're going to do one so you can see what it looks like, okay? So, your next one says 20 into 1,683. 20, 1,683. We know we're going to have a remainder because that ends in a 0 and that does not. So, good thing 20 is easy to count by. So, and that is number 5. Okay, so 20 cannot go into 1, placeholder. 20 cannot go into 16, placeholder. 20 into 168, so I'm going to go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, and if I do another one, it's going to be 80, and I only need 68. So I'm going to go with 8 total. So 8 times 0 is 0, and 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, that's my multiplication. Now my subtraction. 8 minus 0 is 8. 6 and 1 minus themselves, 0. So 8 is definitely smaller than 20. I can bring down my 3. So now I have 20 into 83. So 20, 40, 60, 80. If I do another one, that's 100. That's way too high. So it's only going to be the 4. 4 times 20 is that 80. When I subtract, I get 3. So now that's my remainder, but it wants me to put my remainder in a fraction. So here's the really cool thing. Okay? When you have a remainder, that is your top number. And this number over here, that's your bottom number. So your answer is going to be 84 and 3 over 20. Okay. We're going to do number 6. Okay. So number 6 says 35 into 955. Okay. I don't know my multiples of 35, so I got to do some math. So I know that 1 is going to be 35, but 35 times 2 is going to be 70. 35 times 3 is going to be 105. 35 times 4, 0, 2, it's going to be 14, 140. 35 times 3 is going to be 175. And let's see if we can get by on that for now, okay? So 35 doesn't go into 9. I need a placeholder. 35 into 95. So we need to see which one of these comes close enough to 95 without going over, okay? So 70, that one's good. 105, that's too high. So I need to go back. So we're going to have 2. That leaves me with 70. Subtract 5, 2. Okay? 25 is definitely smaller than 35, so I can go ahead and bring down my other 5. I did not go up high enough to do 255, so I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. So, not 5, okay. So, I'm going to do 35 times 6. That's 210. And 35 times 7 is 245. That's going to be about as close as we can get. Okay? So we're going to go with the 7 up top. And 7 times 35 is 245. We subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 2 minus 2 is nothing. So your remainder is 10. But this number is 35. Both of those numbers are divisible by 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 10 is my top number. 35 would be my bottom number. So I need to see how many times 5 goes into each of those. So 5 goes into 10 2 times. And 5 goes into 7, or to 35, 7 times. So my new fraction is going to be 2 over 7. So my answer is going to be 27 and 2 over 7. Okay? Remember, you can pause the video to write down your work and the answers. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave 7, 8, and 9 for you guys to try. And then we're going to go down to number 10. Okay? So number 10 says that blank divided by 7 equals 800. So here's the cool thing with division. The opposite is multiplication. So I'm going to go 800 times 7. Okay. 7 times these zeros is going to be 0. 7 times 8 is 56. Okay. So this says that whatever goes in this box is bigger than 800. Okay. So we know that 800 times 7 is 5,600. So all we need to do is make it bigger than that. So our answer, we can make 5601. Because that means we'll have 1 as a remainder. That's all you got to do. Okay? Remember, you can pause and write down. Okay. So the next one, number 11, it says blank divided by 21. So blank divided by 21 is greater than 13. Okay, so again, we're just going to reverse engineer this, okay? We just need this number to be bigger than 13. So we're going to take that 13 and that 21, and we're going to multiply them. And whatever this number is, we're just going to add like 1 to it. That's all we got to do. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so now we would do our tic-tac-toe. Tick for any number we had to carry, which we didn't in this case, but just so that we're continuous. Tick, tack, because we're done with that 3 and we don't want to use it anymore. Toe, so that we remember our 0. 1 times 1, 1 times 2. Add those two together. Okay, so this is 273. We need that to be bigger than 273, so I'm going to go ahead and write 274. We're done. Okay, so I want you guys to try that on number 12. Okay, and we're going to go down to the word problems. So we're going to say, it says, a plane flew a total of 2,000, sorry, I need the light, 2,220 miles, and the average speed was 555 miles per hour. How many hours did the plane fly? So we need 2,220. And we're going to divide that by 555. Okay? I don't know my multiples of 555. I'm going to go over here and find out. Oh, and this is number 13. Okay. So I know that 555 times 1 is 555. Let's do 555 times 2. So 10, carry 1, 10, 11, and 11 again. So 1,110 and 555 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 6, same thing. Okay, so 1,665. That's not going to be enough. So now 555 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 22. 4 times 5 is 20 again, plus 2 is 22. Oh, and look, we have it. So it's going to be 4. Okay, we have placeholder, placeholder, placeholder. 4. Perfect number. So 4 hours. Do not forget to label your answer. It is a word problem. That means that you need a word answer. So you need to make sure that your number 4 has hours after it. Okay, Other word problem. Number 14. It's another word problem. Okay. So number 14 says a van a van carrying 486 pounds there are 27 boxes. What's the average weight of each box? So we're just going to take the total number of pounds and divide it by 27 because there's 27 boxes. I don't know my multiples of 27. I'm going to go over here. 27 times 2 is 14. 5, that's 54. And 27 times 3. Okay, so we're going to try and get by with that, and we'll see if I need to add another one, okay? So 27, we know times 2 is 54, but so 27 is not going to go into 4, so we need a placeholder. Okay, 27 into 48. 48 is bigger, so it'll go in, but if we do it twice and that's 54, that's too big, so we're going to stick with our 1 time. So 1 times 27, subtract, 8 minus 7 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 21 is smaller than 27, so I can bring down my 6. Okay, so I did not go up to 216 there, so I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. I'm going to jump to 5 to see what that gives me. So 5 times 7 is 35. 10, 13, that's 135. I need way more than that, so I'm going to go ahead and do times 7. And see where that gets me. You know, I take it back. I'm going to do times 8 because I know that 7 times 8 is 56 and that ends in a 6. So 16 plus 5, 21, that is 216. So times 8 is 216. 0. Okay, remember, word problem, word answer. So 18 pounds. You can write out pounds or you can do LBS, remember. Okay? You can always pause, write down the work, write down the answers. Okay? So, okay. We're going to flip that page over now. And we're going to go ahead and go to the back. Okay? Except on the back, instead of doing the 2 top word problems that are from this lesson, I'm going to do the spiral review that's there so that you guys get a little bit of review from last year. Okay, so we're going to go down to where it says number 3. And it says, Hank bought 2.4 pounds of apples. Each pound cost $1.95. How much did Hank spend on all the apples? So we're going to take the 2.4 pounds and we're going to multiply them by $1.95. So I'm going to put the bigger number on top, or the one with the most numbers, so that I have to do the least amount of rows. And, sorry, he bought 2.4. Okay. Now, when you are multiplying decimals, you don't have to line them up. That's when you're adding or subtracting. So when we're multiplying them, all we have to do is at the end count in how many places. So we'll do that, okay? So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 9 is 36, 37, 38. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So now is where we would go tick, tack, toe. And then I'm going to start using my 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. Okay, so add those up. Okay, 0 plus 0, 8 plus 0, 7 plus 9 is 16, 1 plus 3, 4. So we're going to count in 1, 2, 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, right there. Okay? Except they're asking how much money you paid for all of it. That means that we're working in money. This is your word answer. All you have to do is write the dollar sign. And when we're doing money, we only put 2 places after the decimal point. So I don't need that extra 0. So your answer is just going to be $4 decimal and 68 cents. That's it. Done. Okay? Okay. Okay. Your next one, okay, says, Carlos bought 4 packages of cheese. Each package weighed 1.06 kilograms. How many kilograms of cheese did Gavin buy? So we bought 4 packages at 1.06. 1.06, and we bought 4 of those. Okay? So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? Tick, tack, and we don't have to tilt because that was our only one. So silly me. So now, ignore my tic-tac-toe because I was thinking there was another number. So, but now there's a decimal here and it went in 1, 2 places. So we're going to go in 1, 2 places. So it's going to be 4.24, and that is in, oh, I think I had the original numbers wrong. Hold on just a second. Sorry, it's tiny writing on my end, so. So it must have been 1.08. Sorry about that. And he had 4 of those. So let's try that again. Okay? So 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3, and 4 times 1 is 4. So now it went in 1, 2 times. We're going to go in 1, 2 times, and our decimal will be here. And that's in kilograms. It's asking you how much weight he bought, and it was telling you that he was buying it in kilograms. So all you have to do after that is write kg, kilograms. Okay? All right. Mr. Thompson received a water bill for $85.98. Okay. The bill covered 3 months of service. So they want to know how much each month costed. If it covered 3 months of service, then we have to divide this by 3. So we're going to use our does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers again. Okay? So 3 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Get 2. 2 is smaller than 3, so we can keep going. Bring down our 5. 3 goes into 25. Let's see. 8 times, which is 24. Sorry, my brain has been on vacation for a while too. 5 minus 4 is 1. 2 minus 2 is nothing. So now I can bring down my 9. Because 1 is smaller than 3, so I can bring down my 9. 3 goes into 19 6 times, which is 18. Subtract, get 1. And 1 is still smaller than 3, so I can bring down my 8. And 3 goes into 18 6 times, which is our 18. 0. Okay? Now, see that decimal right there? We're going to bump it straight up, and it's going to go right there. So each month, his bill with a dollar sign, because it's a dollar question, or it's a word problem, so we're going to have a word answer. So dollar sign, $28.66. Okay? Okay. Okay, so this one, number 6 on the back, says Layla used 0.482. Layla used 0.482 grams of salt for her experiment. Maurice used 0.51 grams. Who used the greater amount? So 0.51, okay? So this one was Layla. And this one is Maurice. Okay? So we need to know which one used more. So what we're going to do is it's kind of like using alphabetical order when you have more than one with the same first letter. So pretend these are both A's because they're both zeros. So we have to go to the next letter and look at them. So 4 or 5 is bigger. It's going to be the 5, which means that Maurice used more. So your answer is just going to be Maurice. And that's it for today, guys. I will see you back with 1.2 shortly.